Okay. Hajime no Ippo. What a great anime. 5 out of 7. I would recommend to everyone. Man, such a good anime. So good. God damn, you're so good looking. Love you. Alright, so let's scroll down to see some similar anime, let's see. Yowamushi no Pero. Yeah, I've already seen that, it's pretty good. Baby steps. Yeah, sure, I like babies. Yeah, okay, sure. Oh no, what's he holding? It's a racket. Oh no, it's a tennis. Fuck. From the creative mind of the mangaka Hikaru Katsuki and brought to animated life via Studio Pierrot, is a shounen tennis anime called Baby Steps. Now, as you can probably gather from the beginning of this video, I wasn't too keen on a sports anime about tennis, since I'd never really been interested in two people hitting a ball back and forth groaning like they're being intermittently stimulated. But since I gave volleyball and biking a go, I decided to give Baby Steps a chance, and boy am I glad I did. Baby Steps follows a character by the name of Maruo Eiichiro, a meticulous honor student who writes down everything that he studies in a notebook for future reference. After a fateful encounter with Natsu, a bubbly, emotional, and determined classmate who is definitely without a doubt the best girl, decides to choose tennis as his method of some light exercise. Whilst this may be a generic storyline for a sports anime, it is the characterization of Maruo that really makes this anime shine. Maruo as a character starts off at the opposite side of Ryoma Echizen from Prince of Tennis. Where Ryoma started off as experienced and with prodigical skill, Maruo starts off with absolutely zero knowledge or any special powers. Now, this is actually quite different from the other sports anime as well, because similar stories try to have the main character be good at one aspect of the sport itself, whether it's being invisible, or having reflexes, or somehow climbing on a mommy bike. Even Orikikirofurikibate has the main character with insane control over his pitching skills. And then you have Maruo, who walks in with his honor student meticulousness and his good eyesight, and is absolute garbage. And I think this odd premise is what actually hooked me to this show, because usually sports anime hooks the audience by showing a cool power, or a potential for the player to grow. However, in Baby Steps, what they did was that during the first 2 minutes of the first episode, it shows Maruo apparently in an important tennis match, actually holding his own against the opponent. And then when they take a break, it shows Maruo's bag holding about 40 notebooks, with Maruo himself frantically running into one more. And then the remainder of the episode shows how he's absolutely worthless in tennis, and I mean actually crap. As the audience, we can piece together that his meticulousness and intelligence play some part in his tennis development. But it's the progress of how he uses this analysis and note-taking abilities to become the tennis superstar that we see initially in the first episode. Such a simple concept also messes around with the fundamental aspect of never giving up that's so prevalent in sports anime. Usually, in the cases of Hajime no Ippo and Yowamushi no Pero, for example, whenever they're in a tight spot, all they have to do is remember the struggles, or have a character yell, or believe in themselves, and then they have a sudden revival. Now, I might tread on minor spoiler territory, so I'll give an on-screen warning and time that you can skip to if you don't want to hear it. For Maruo, it's not that he doesn't give up, okay? He doesn't see the point of it. His mantra is that nothing is ever perfect, and players will, over time, display tendencies in how they play. This is why he consistently analyzes his opponents and writes down his results in the notebook. To Maruo, it is unfathomable that there may be situations in which he cannot alter in some way, whether it be predicting the next route of his opponent's strike, or altering his own style to match his opponent's tendencies. And because of this, he is always persistent and improving even during the match. These minute changes create such a rich character in Maruo, but it's not just him that shines. Natsu, the heroine in this anime, is the polar opposite of the analytical Maruo. She is instinctive, naturally talented, who will react completely on the spot without any regard to what the other player is doing. Now, let me say this here, folks. This anime might have one of the best romance subplots I've seen in a long while, and it is even better than some of the actual romance anime. But I won't say any more than that, you can see for yourself. Now, Baby Steps also does a great job in making the opponents seem likable. You don't just root for Mario, you also root for the other characters that's present in the show. However, this is the limit of how good the characters get. Whilst the two main heroes and their adversaries are fleshed out and interesting to watch, the other characters are unfortunately not. We get characters such as Weird Nose Friend 1, Weird Nose Friend 2, annoying, whingy friend who will never get with Mario, and annoying midget, who is quite easily the worst character in the show. These characters do serve as the fish out of water characters though, to explain the mechanics of tennis to the general audience during the matches, which are a joy to watch. Matches with Mario are tense, as his lack of experience always serve as a disadvantage, and there's a real threat of losing as the mangaka is generous in the amount of times that Mario loses. Each match has an impact on Mario, and whenever he loses, he has to face the decision of what he wants to achieve within tennis, and whether he can sacrifice his study in order to fit in more practice. Now, whilst these matches are great, I've also got to mention the less than stellar animation. The animation is not great most of the time, with the faces sometimes looking deformed. However, the remainder of the time it looks fabulous with the smooth lusciousness of the frame-by-frame animation. But this seems to be saved only for openings or an important match. The CGI is also glaringly bad, which sometimes distracted me from the actual match itself. The music wasn't too memorable, but it seemed to amp up the situation accordingly. This is also where I mentioned Catchy Opening, which I listened to many times outside the anime, and even when editing this video. Overall, I immensely enjoyed Baby Steps and the characters within. I couldn't stop myself from binging the 2 seasons of Baby Steps that are available at this time. There are more manga chapters after the end of Season 2, however, whilst the chapters may be out in Japan, they have not yet been translated in English. If you are a masochist and want to read on knowing that there are chapters out there that you cannot understand, then be my guest. I feel that despite the lackluster animation and music, the character development and the story progression of both Mario and Natsu more than made up for the faults. If you are looking for a sports anime with a unique spin, then look no further than this anime. From Baby Steps to Giant Strides, I give this anime a 5 out of 5.